Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into O'Neill's Grill for our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon. We do apologize. We're having a little difficulty with our house volume here today, so I'm going to shout a little bit, but hopefully you can hear us. But most of the talking will be done by our head coach of the JMU football Dukes, Everett Withers. We begin the crossover season here, football season, 2 games remaining on the regular season schedule. Basketball cranks it up this weekend. We will have not only Coach Withers here with us today, but also Coach Kenny Brooks of the women's basketball Dukes, as well as Coach Matt Brady of the men's basketball Dukes. No football played by the Dukes this weekend. It was an idle weekend, but that didn't mean the Dukes were totally idle, as Coach Withers does have a few things to chat with us here about today. And, Coach, we'll let you take over the podium right now with some opening announcements.
Thanks, Kurt. We did practice last week. We practiced on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week, practicing Thursday morning to give our guys Thursday, the entire day, Friday, and Saturday off. A good little break for players, coaches, staff. Over the weekend, we got back to work on last night, yesterday afternoon, last night. And had a really good practice last night. Felt like our kids were refocused, re-energized, and ready to go for the November stretch of our season. So we felt like that was good for us. We got John Miller back to practice full speed. So we feel like we've added to our offense with John being back. So that was a positive for us. And we were able to get some guys some rest that needed some rest during the week, so that was a good thing. So couple announcements. Obviously, congratulations to our women's soccer team for winning the conference championship, and Coach Labrado doing another big time job like he always does. I know we've got some other fall sports that are doing well. I know Christy and the field hockey team lost, but they've had an unbelievable year, and to watch what she's done in a 2-year period is kind of neat to watch, and that thing will only keep getting better. Volleyball's had a really good year. I think men's soccer is still going on also. So fall sports have done well at JMU. We're looking forward to our men's and women's basketball teams getting off to good starts and getting rolling, so we're excited about that. One other announcement, congratulations to Dom Richards for being named to the All-District All-American team. It's the first, if he gets to the All-American stage of this thing, it'll be the first guy since 1989, football player at JMU, to be an All-American, academic All-American, which there were I think 4 before him. Warren Coleman did it twice, Joe Shoker did it once, and Mark Kiefer did it once. And that's a testament to Coach Mack and Coach Mack's emphasis on academics as well as athletics. And hats off to Coach Mack. And again, every time I get the opportunity to jump on Coach Mack's bandwagon, I will. So hats off to Dom on that. So again, I'll open it up to questions.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to members of the media here today. The Dukes facing the Delaware Blue Hens coming up this upcoming weekend, and now to other members of the media. Gentlemen?
All right, well, Coach, last week you said that you were going to put an emphasis on the younger players, get them some reps in practice last week. So what did you see from that provides whatever outlook you see on the future of JMU football?
Well, I think, we got a bunch of young guys reps on Tuesday and Wednesday for the most part, and felt like that some of the young guys did some good things. It's just an opportunity to kind of start the spring ball process early for them. Anytime you can get practice reps, and we talk about game reps, anytime you can put them in a game-like situation, we try to do that to a lot of our young guys. And we felt like they did a good job. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done. But we feel like we're headed in the right direction for the future.
As you enter game week for Delaware, what do you see from the Blue Hens? I know that was a loss for you guys last year. How have they changed a year later?
Well, I mean, they're a very talented team. They're a big physical team on defense. They want to stop the run on defense. They've got talented skill guys on offense. They want to be able to run the football on offense. And, they've been a little bit of a different bag at times on offense. They're 11 personnel for 3 weeks and then a 12 personnel for 2 weeks. The last couple of weeks they've been in two tights and a lot of different things. So I think they're still trying to search and see what they are. I know they want to run the football, knowing Dave and knowing what Dave is, and they want to be able to control the football, and they want to be able to try to be physical because they do have big physical offensive line. Yeah. Well, I think they both are talented. I know they both played in the last ball game, and I think they were a little bit trying to search for somebody to give them a spark. So, Joe Walker's a talented player. Rankins is a talented player. They've got two. So, I think what they're trying to do is who can be the leader, who can give them the spark that gets them going. This team beat New Hampshire and William & Mary, so this is not a bad football team. This is a good football team. So,
I know they've had some trouble hanging on to the ball this year.
right.
And you talked over the last couple of weeks about your team missing opportunities to scoop up trouble to get on top of the ball. Did you work on that? Anything in particular this week trying to prepare for Delaware?
Somebody told me there's a lot of things that you can work on, but scooping up fumbles is not one of them. Sometimes that's somebody else controlling that that's got a greater power than us. So we just try to work on our fundamentals, blocking, tackling, getting off of blocks, protecting the quarterback, protecting the football. That's what we worked on this week.
Obviously, Brian, of course, plays well, but you wanted him to kind of get more himself in the offense. Did he settle in more this week, having more reps with the guys?
Well, I think he did. And, again, we won't know how that worked until we get into game action. So I thought he had a really good week of practice. I do feel him getting a lot more comfortable being the guy in the offense, which is what you want. You want the guy to feel comfortable. I think our players are, they've been comfortable with him, but I think they gain even more, a comfort level with him each time he takes a snap.
How did you kind of spend your weekend, your time off? Did you watch some football games and things like that?
Yeah, I did. I had a couple meetings on Friday. On Saturday, had some honeydew stuff to do for my wife, and then I got a chance to watch some football. It's interesting when you're not playing and you watch football. It's hard for coaches to just watch football because you want to coach. You want to coach the game, and it's hard. So I don't watch as much football as you might think. I try to get away from it because I'm going to end up coaching. So, and I don't like to do that. So my wife makes me go do other stuff.
Now that I guess there's a game of film on Brian, quarterback, is that another challenge to play a good second game when the team has a little better idea of what he does?
I think so, but I think we didn't do anything any different than we would have done with Bad. So I don't know if there's anything that they would find that would say that he does this different than Bad. So we'll see. A quarterback is only as good as the people around him. And as long as we continue to have, success and productivity with the people around Brian, I think we're going to be fine.
How would you describe the intensity of practice, kind of the vibe of practice? When you have a bye week, just like the season, like you're focused on getting healthy and stuff, how would you describe how practice is?
I think our kids, we practice a certain way regardless of whether it's bye week or not. So I wouldn't say there was any different in intensity or not. We went after it pretty good on Tuesday and Wednesday.
I was going to ask, having gone through the playoff thing last year, kind of maybe for you learning how that this playoff system works, did you take anything from that last year, kind of where you might be positioned, those kind of things as you head down the stretch? Did you take anything from that?
I worry about Delaware.
Coach, the bye week kind of allows the team to look back at where they've been and kind of maybe look at how their attitude is going forward. Do you get a sense of a renewed commitment to the rest of the season, especially after two straight losses? What's the attitude if there is any adjustment or not?
We before the year started, we kind of plan our year out. We plan our schedule out, and we, like I told you, I think a week ago, that coming out of the 6-game stretch that we came out of, 4-2, we'd kind of say, check it off. We're you know, it's not great, but it's, you know, it's pretty good. There's some other people that would like to be 4-2 out of that 6-game schedule. We wanted to try to find a way to make November relevant. There are a lot of teams across the country right now playing in November. Their games mean absolutely nothing. We wanted our games to mean something in November. So we're poised right now. I heard Andy Talley say it on the news conference today, to make November relevant. That's what we've been talking about all year long, making November relevant. And then we'll go and see what happens in November.
Coach, with the return of John Miller, how does that affect your personnel deployment? Last week we saw Carden Johnson take a lot of the load on returns and what have you.
Right.
Who will that affect as far as getting him back in the lineup?
We'll determine that as the week goes on, whether or not we want to put that load on him this week. I think what it does, it just gives us another weapon on offense. And, you know, what I've challenged our offensive staff is to not take anybody out of the offense, just find a way to add John to it.
Okay.
So that's, you know, that's kind of how we want to enhance and make it better. And John makes us better. So we're going to try to figure out how to get John plugged in without having to subtract somebody from it.
With Delaware having its inconsistency, I'm sure it doesn't play into how you prepare for the Blue Hens. But does that give you a kind of a question in the back of your mind as you go into Saturday? What team am I going to get from Delaware today?
Always, always. I mean, you go back when you have a bye week, you go back and you look at all their season. And I went back and looked at early season. And then I go back and I look at, you know, William and Mary in New Hampshire and see, you know, a team that's really, really good. And then you go back and you look at some of the inconsistencies that they've had late in the year, and you know you've got a good football team that you're playing. Plus you're playing them at home. Plus you're playing them for what's probably senior day. So there's, you know, you don't know what you're going to get. They've got their backs up against the wall, just like we do, you know, in a lot of ways. But we know we're going to get a strong challenge, a physical football game from Delaware.
In listening to Dave Brock this morning on the conference call, the head coach of Delaware, he seemed to be pleased with his defensive efforts, very pleased with that, in fact. But where the frustration seems to lie is their consistency on the offensive line in particular and offense in general.
Well, knowing Dave the way I know him, he wants to run the football. He wants
exactly.
to be efficient running the football. He wants to be able to keep the ball and not give it to you. And they weren't able to do that. And they haven't scored very many points the last couple of weeks. So I know that's a frustration on his part, and he'll do everything this week to try to find a way to score points and run the football against us.
All right. Anybody else for Coach Withers here this afternoon? All right, thank you very much, Coach. Short and sweet today. The Dukes on the road. They will face the Delaware Blue Hens. Kickoff there at Delaware Stadium is 3:30 on Saturday.